My name is Hannah. I'm 25, and I joined a fitness club mostly to distract myself. I'd just ended a long relationship and needed something to do besides scrolling through old photos and pretending I was fine. The gym wasn't really my world. Bright lights, loud music, people who looked like they were born running. But that's where I met Ava. She was impossible not to notice. Confident, focused, headphones on, always in her own rhythm. I'd see her most mornings lifting weights or stretching by the mirror wall. She had that kind of quiet strength that wasn't about showing off. It was about control. One morning, I ended up next to her on the treadmills. My machine wouldn't start, and she leaned over, pressed a button, and said with a half smile, "You have to be a little rough with it." Her voice was warm, teasing. "Thanks," I said, trying not to sound flustered. "No problem. It hates everyone at first." From that day, we started talking. Little things at first. Music, workouts, bad coffee from the vending machine. She was funny in that calm, effortless way that made you want to keep the conversation going. Over the next few weeks, we started syncing our routines without even planning it. She'd hand me a towel before I asked. I'd save her favorite spot in the stretching area. It felt natural, easy, something bright in a routine I'd only started to feel less alone. One evening after a long day, I almost skipped the gym. But I went and found her already there, sitting on the floor after her workout, leaning back against the wall with her eyes closed and music in her ears. She looked peaceful. I sat down beside her and she opened one eye, smiled. "Rough day?" she asked. "Yeah," I sighed. "Good thing you showed up," she said. "That's always the hardest part." We talked longer that night, not about training or routines, but life, work stress, breakups, the weird loneliness that comes even when you're surrounded by people. I told her I hadn't felt like myself in months. She just nodded and said quietly, "You're allowed to start over. You already did. You came here." Something in her tone stayed with me. That night, walking home under the streetlights, I caught myself smiling for no reason. The more time I spent at the gym, the less it felt like a gym. It started feeling like our place, the one corner of the day that belonged to us. We'd stay longer after closing, stretching on the mats, talking about everything and nothing. Ava wasn't one for big speeches. Her words were few, but they always landed exactly where they needed to. I'd tell her about my job interviews, my family, my fear of messing things up again. She'd just nod and say, "You're doing better than you think." One rainy evening, the storm hit right when we finished our workout. The sound of water hitting the windows filled the whole room. The staff had already left, and it was just us. The dim lights reflecting off the equipment, soft music playing in the background. We sat by the big window, towels wrapped around our shoulders, watching the rain blur the city lights. "Funny," Ava said quietly. "When I was younger, I hated rain. Now it feels like everything slows down for a minute." I smiled. "Maybe it's because we finally do too." She looked at me, really looked, and I felt it. The kind of gaze that makes your heartbeat line up with someone else's. "You're different when you talk like that," she said. "Like what?" "Like you stopped pretending." For a moment, I didn't know what to do with her words. The air between us felt heavier, not uncomfortable, just real. I could hear my own heartbeat over the rain. I said, almost whispering, "I like who I am here." "With me?" she asked softly. I nodded. "Yeah, with you." We didn't move closer, didn't need to. There was something beautiful about leaving it right there. Raw, honest, unfinished. After that night, Nothing between us needed explanation. We'd still meet in the mornings, exchange quiet smiles, share music during cool downs. But every time our eyes met, there was a spark, something unspoken, growing quietly in the background of our routine. One evening, as the sun set behind the glass walls, Ava packed her bag, then turned to me. "You know," she said, half smiling, "I joined this gym to be alone." I grinned. "Guess that didn't work out." She laughed softly. "Guess not." She walked past me, then stopped for a second and touched my arm. Light, brief, but enough to make my heart stumble. "Don't disappear, okay?" she said. "I won't," I whispered. That night, lying in bed, I realized something simple but powerful. Sometimes love doesn't announce itself with fireworks or words. Sometimes it just happens, quietly, between two people who showed up when they didn't have to. And maybe that's what makes it real.